Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 141. I am one of the hosts, Leo Fernandez. The man who was signaling the touchdown or field goal was good was Mr. Jason Roberts.
I'm just happy to be back.
I know, it's been a long time, it feels like. Had a couple interruptions in between, had Memorial Day weekend, had work, had life. It's just been busy, man.
Sick,
That's just,
all that.
Jason's been sick.
A lot of us been sick.
Yeah. I think we've all caught something or other at different times, and
not too terribly bad. Just they're running the muck of life and everything. So
yeah.
I'm ready to get back to normal here.
Definitely try to figure this thing out or make it up as we go along. So
make it up as we go.
Yeah. Do not be alarmed. Those are not ghosts in the chairs next to Jason. No, it's just Jason and I tonight. So everybody else had their own things going on, and it's okay. Want to say hi to everybody at home watching. Captain Carl, I see you there. Carmen, hello. Hopefully it's not echoing. I'm just kidding. I can't tell. Jason, get high, he said. Let me see if it's not turned on right. Hang on.
Not too high?
There we go.
Okay.
I had the wrong one turned on. That's my bad. Yeah.
So what's been going on, Liam?
Just keeping busy, man. Work, life, like I said, has been keeping me going, and been keeping an eye on the paranormal. Things not paranormal, all kinds of different things.
Hey, did you ever go out in the woods?
Haven't yet.
Okay.
When I was going to do it rained real bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get stuck out there. What Jason's talking about, Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah.
We're going to go out, and I know Jason's been out. So.
It's a pretty good location, actually.
Yeah. So
it's just that once it rains out there, oh my God.
It's a washout pretty much. So.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I'm gonna go out there too. That's my plan, anyways. Haven't had the opportunity quite yet, but.
Well, I'm back now and don't have much going on. So if you go out there and need an extra hand, I'll go.
Yep. I'll let you know when I plan on going. So.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So like I said, it's the Jason and Leo show. It's like old times, man. We've done a couple of these along the way. So. Hey, Rhea. Hey, Renee. Got a people watching tonight. So everybody, hello. Oh my God, my face.
I went out.
Fixated.
I went to Missouri and everything.
Yeah,
and
you've been busy.
It's always a hot spot for Sasquatch and everything, but I didn't have an opportunity to do too much or anything.
Right.
Not to mention because I'm a little afraid of ticks, so I didn't do it. Because every time I go out there on that trail, I get attacked. So I wussed out.
It happens.
Yeah, so I just relaxed, ate food.
Nice. Camped out.
Yep. Going again in September.
Nice.
So, can't wait.
Sorry, I'm trying to get things situated behind the scenes here. Oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze. It's gonna be great.
Don't sneeze too hard.
I know.
Remember what happened when you coughed and threw your back out?
Hey, now.
Hey, it's okay, because Corey, she sneezed violently and something happened to her neck and back.
Oh no.
She'll hate me if she heard that.
Give me a second, I'm trying to get situated here. For some reason, things aren't working. I mean, they're working. It's just you can't see everything. That's all right. So, anyways, we're back. Hopefully, we can stay back this time. And
yes.
If not,
make our way to the 150th, right?
We're getting there. And we got 9 more episodes before then, so including tonight. Well, with tonight. So, but yep, it'll be time. Oh man, Carl got bit by a black widow. He's waiting for the.
Who's that? What?
Carl, Captain Carl. He's waiting for his superpowers to kick in. So.
He's got to stop messing around with all kinds of crap. He's always somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably where it doesn't need to be.
But.
That's scary though.
It really is.
Yeah.
Good God. So tonight, like I said, we're gonna just go through some things, and we decided to call this episode "Haunted Objects" and plus more, like always. 'Cause you never know what we're gonna dive into. We may be all over the map. We may not even talk about haunted objects, but that's our mission tonight. We just try to find topics that hopefully will interest the viewers at home. If not, it's stuff that we've had. What am I trying to say? We've had encounters with and stuff like that, and just curious what people think about haunted objects in general. If they think that these objects really true hold the energy or the spirits of those that passed on.
Yeah.
It seems like it's always a negative spirit. Why does it always have to be a negative spirit?
Why do they always have to say get out?
That's true. That is just true.
Or F you, or go away.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems like when when people die, they get bitter.
Oh yeah.
But
Hell, I'm bitter right now. Just kidding.
It's
Kidding,
probably
not
the
kidding.
fact that we are bitter as we're, alive, Didn't turn out the way life was supposed to be. But haunted objects, I've never actually dealt with one myself, per se. What got me thinking even more was when we were at the Josephine and I actually saw my phone move.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see it in person. I saw it when you guys were doing the reveal of the videos and stuff like that we caught.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, objects are easily manipulated by spirits, so why couldn't they possess them? Why couldn't they take over? Why couldn't they become a central part of why there's a haunting in your house or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you never know. Trying to think if I've ever really encountered on an object or not.
I know you have told people to, going over the years and stuff, when we've been investigating a house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've asked, what have you brought in
Sure.
recently and stuff, and they'll say it, they'll point it out, and you'll say, well, remove that, and
See if it makes
sometimes
a
it
difference.
seems to clear up after that.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's not necessarily a doll of sorts. It could be
No,
a
yeah.
curio cabinet they got from an estate sale. It could be, a tricycle they got
crib.
from.
People buy
Yeah,
cribs from
cribs.
antique shops and stuff like that.
Not a house.
Huh? Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Crib. I'm having trouble tonight. Trying to get things situated here. Sorry, keep talking. But yeah, if you believe what everybody says, I mean, I think it's science, really.
Yeah.
Objects tend to hold energy. Well,
Yeah.
including objects that may hold the spirit in, potentially if it moves from house to house or whatever, location to
Right.
location, and inadvertently you don't know that's going on. I mean, because you don't realize you're transporting a spirit,
Right.
because why would you?
So, would you purposely bring in an object that you know is haunted, and would you purposely bring that into your home?
It just depends. Probably. I mean, why not? I mean,
Like a doll,
Yeah, I mean-
supposed haunted doll.
I would. I mean, it'd be cool to have you talk about the most infamous dolls, like Annabelle or Robert the doll. and stuff
Robert,
like
that's
that.
the one I was
Yeah.
trying to think of, was Robert.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
those tonight too.
But yeah, if you had an opportunity to keep Robert for a week,
Uh-huh.
would you?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah,
With
Why
your
not?
family here?
probably. I mean, I might be a little bit more reluctant or hesitant to do that.
Unbeknownst
just
to your
for-
wife,
Oh,
or would you tell her?
I probably would. Rita says that'd be a note for her. Oh, come on, where's your sense of adventure?
It's all about proving, right?
Yeah. What about you? Would you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I honestly think Corey would be up for it,
Yeah.
She'd be hesitant at first, but then she'd be like, well, what if there's a chance to prove something here?
Sure. Do it in the name of science.
Or I could be completely wrong and she'd, tell me to get out.
Right. Get that.
So.
Get the doll out. Did you hear that yell?
No.
Heard a woo.
Did you?
Yeah. Okay. People, I'm forewarning you right now. Every time we talk about certain subjects, I think that has a way to somehow maybe make itself known. We talked about Robert the doll on an episode a long time ago, one of our earlier episodes, and our podcast came to an abrupt stop. Excuse me.
It was crazy.
It just out of nowhere just quit, and
And on the screen that everybody was
froze.
watching was frozen right on Robert the
right.
doll.
And if you don't know about Robert the doll, he's another one famous doll that's right up there with Annabelle. Basically, he just haven't had a movie made about him. Basically,
Yeah.
so.
See, I think about Jason Kay, who brings his dolls around.
Action figures.
Yeah,
No, I'm
he
kidding.
brings. He
Yeah.
has a Pee Wee Herman doll.
Right.
And what else does he have?
He has a puppet.
The puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ventriloquist.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't even say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has the puppet that he sits out. That is very creepy. I got to see him use that over at in Wamego.
That was that where it was. I couldn't remember what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. At the
So-
haunted. It was on my head.
At the Colombian.
Yeah. Like I got
Yeah.
froze or something.
But he used that, and that was, I at one point it did look like the doll moved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
he was using, you know, a strobe light on it.
Yeah.
While talking to it and everything like that. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Little experiments that he comes up with.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's a man that, you know, brings in objects like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not per se are they haunted.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say something from that building or whatever or anywhere could like attach itself to it.
Right.
And then he is then dragging around a haunted doll.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Pee Wee Herman doll was like came to life?
Oh yeah, for sure. Sorry, I made a weird face at the camera. It's because my camera's there's a blue light up here on my camera that lets me know it's going, and it's blinking all of a sudden.
Oh.
So hopefully that means away we go with the haunted doll object talk, because
it looks like you're still on. So
yeah, I'm watching. It's on now. I just don't know why it did that. So if I apologize in advance, people at home, if you lose
haunted
us.
objects, it always happens, right?
Yeah, we'll come back for sure if we get lost somehow. Okay, so I don't know where to even begin. I mean, there's so much.
Is there anybody out there that's watching that has had an experience with a haunted object?
Yeah,
whether it's a doll, whether it's a chair, whether it's something.
Right,
you know?
some kind of object that.
And until somebody, you know, speaks up or anything, you know, I'll just talk.
Sure.
I have a friend who actually bought a rocking chair
Mm-hmm.
from an antique mall.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it home, and she, you know, is a self-proclaimed medium or
Sure.
psychic who doesn't, you know her. Not anybody anybody's met before, but you know her. I used to work with her.
Okay.
But she claimed that immediately there was an entity that was actually sitting in that chair immediately. As soon as she brought that chair home, it was sitting there in the chair and wouldn't move, wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
She'd wake up, he's still sitting there. You know, and he wasn't your typical entity. He was like, you know, basically had no clothes on. He was like shaped differently and weird. But he just sat there with a look on his face like, what you gonna do?
Right.
You know, was he attached to that chair? You know? Nothing happened until she got rid of it.
Dude,
you know?
we just lost our feed.
Did we?
I kid you not. It froze for a second.
Yeah, I saw that.
What in the hell, dude? I told you. This is where it begins.
Is it because your house has something down here?
Or is there something in this studio?
Hey, haunted objects, can it also be... Oh, here's a question for you.
Go ahead.
Haunted objects. What if it's our gear?
I thought about that, yeah.
You know, we take our stuff everywhere we go.
Right, every location we go to.
Some of the stuff that you have has been around for, what, 12 years or more?
Yep.
Longer?
Mm-hmm.
It has been in some very shady investigations and stuff like that. Who's to say that doesn't bring in any energy around you and around your stuff?
Yeah, I agree with that. I also, I'll wait till the very end of this, but have a haunted object in here actually. I didn't realize that until later on. And we'll go over that story here later on because I want to do maybe some experiments with it. So, no, not
Can I
that.
throw this on it?
Sure, may have to. Well, I mean, think about the book. It's the one on screen right, the bottom screen right. It's the house of the, what's it called? Ghost of Steeler Drive. Sorry,
Yeah.
I want to make sure I said it right. It's by David Oman. His
Right
book.
there.
That came from California. You know, from
That's
his
true.
house, from where the Sharon Tate murders happened,
That's
150
true.
feet from there. You know, by Charles Manson. We talked about it before. Who knows if that's not attached with something, you know, kind of spirit attached to it. It's a book, it's an object, it's possible. Jason was pointing to the holy water, but that's not haunted, I don't think. But it's real holy water in there, so
Yeah.
yeah. And then we got what about the two books, The House Where Evil Lurks on your bottom right,
Yeah.
you'll be screen left, I guess, and then The
Yeah.
Agony That Remains, the Talqual books.
Yeah, these two right here. I mean, they both have stories of us,
Yeah,
along with the writer himself.
Is it possible that, and this may be a stretch, but the words jump off the page and you can radiate outwards? Because I've seen a lot of people who watch episodes of Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, things of that nature, that say that when the episode's happening, they have activity in their house. So what about a book like that? Is it possible a book could even I mean, as you read the pages out loud, maybe you or not loud, as you read it to yourself even.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you're, what's the word I'm looking
Conjuring it up.
Well, I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
what's the word? Like
It's that
like
the
an image
tulpa.
of it. The what?
The tulpa. The
Yes,
more you
yes,
think
yes,
about
yes,
it,
yes,
the more
sorry,
you
sorry.
talk about it,
I
the
just
more
didn't hear you.
real it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is that possible? I wonder.
I think so.
Because like we talked about too, in writing pages for that book, the Agony That Remains, for Brandon Callahan, the author, our friend from Kansas City. As I was reliving that story, things were happening all around me in my house. Banging was going on inside and outside the house that I had to go around the whole property to make sure nobody was outside trying to break in or whatever.
Right, because you were hearing pounding and
Yeah,
stuff like
and
that.
like I said, my family was asleep at the time, so there was nobody in the house doing anything, and just things like that. I mean, the story lives on, and maybe it breathes through your mind, the pages, the story, what you're trying to the point you're trying to get across. Basically, maybe it comes outwards that way too.
Right.
Sorry, I just keep hearing some weird things.
Because that was some weird stuff that happened to you while you were just writing your part.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, I remember writing my part to it, and nothing happened around me. And if it did, I didn't pay attention to it.
Right.
But not like what you were explaining and what you were experiencing. So
definitely.
It's, I don't know, it's crazy. I do believe that the tulpa is a real thing. That,
Yeah.
People talk about it long enough,
Right.
it can be real.
Definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that. Oops, what's going on here?
What's the matter?
No, things aren't working. Sorry. What is going on?
Can we still hear it?
No, yeah, it's working. It's
okay.
just my keyboard quit typing.
I tell you, every time.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Definitely. Oh, it's fun times, guys. Fun times.
So what object did you want to talk about first tonight?
Let's go with the one, because Renee was talking about she would like to see the Robert the Doll first. Let's just break the
okay.
let's just break the internet. I'm just kidding. Let's just break the actual podcast right off the bat.
Why not? Call an early night.
I'm gonna pull it up here in just a second. Here, Robert the Doll is a famous doll in the paranormal community. If you're not familiar with it, it's supposed to be a cursed doll. Its original owner was a guy named Robert Eugene Otto. He was a Key West painter and author. He was given dolls in 1906 by one of his servants, and this servant was a Bahamian, Bahamian, whatever, servant who practiced black magic and voodoo.
Right.
What was weird about this Robert Eugene Otto, his parents, he was a younger kid at the time, or younger, whatever, not younger kid, younger in age. His parents would actually hear him talking to this doll at all times. At first, they thought he basically was just having a conversation to himself, but then they started noticing he was changing his voice, or there was a second voice that was responding right back to him, so they didn't know who that was. But they thought the actual doll was speaking back to him. And then there was reports that the neighbors claimed to see this doll moving from window to window when the family was out doing whatever. So the house was empty, the doll would be moving by itself. Let me get this picture of Robert up. Like I said,
Don't look in the eyes.
That's one of the rumors is you're not supposed to make contact with him directly, but of course I've done it. Not the real doll, but the pictures of him or whatever at the time. Just depends on what it was. So, warning and caution. I know this is just a show, but I mean you should not think ill thoughts about anything, because know there's reports that when you do, he won't even pull up on camera. This is insane, guys. There it goes. I'm not making this shit up either. I clicked on. We add the pictures to the show. I tried to add it and it wouldn't even pull up on camera. So, but he did finally. I'm gonna put him over. He's gonna be over Jason's head, basically. No,
thank you.
his right side of his head. So this is Robert. Like I said, definitely. Yeah. There was a Jack Osborne, and Ozzy Osbourne. Jack's famous for doing paranormal shows too.
Yeah.
He took Ozzy to go visit Robert, and Ozzy was just flipped out, scared, terrified of this thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, and that's what Carl was talking about in the chat. He said Ozzy blew him up during season 1 of their show. Yeah. What is so funny that Jack knew that was going to bug Ozzy, so he bought like a replica, a little tiny one, a plushed one. And Ozzy would just freak out. He would throw it and stuff and get rid of it. But supposedly he blew up the real doll. But
where is this at now? Where is he at?
Well, I remember years ago when Zach had a spin-off show called Haunted Artifacts.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just saw an orb dust in front of me. He had it. Supposedly the original owner brought it to him as a girl, and she brought it to him and said, you can have it for the museum. But I think she took it back. So I think it's back to wherever it is, like down in Florida or somewhere.
I wouldn't put it in his museum.
Yeah, he buys enough stuff and ruins
it
for everybody else. But let me see if I can track down his current location.
So how many people have had tragic things happen just due to the myth and legend of Robert?
I don't know if there's really an actual total. Let me see. I guess there's a movie, but not like a real movie. Let me see if I can figure out if there's anything.
He doesn't seem, creepy in any way. He seems kind of harmless.
Well, you see that picture of him there. His face is a little different.
He is. But he's old.
Let me see if I can get a better.
He's been around.
And I'm fairly certain Robert the Doll is loosely what Child's Play.
Oh, really?
Is kind of based upon. I'm talking about
that
Chucky.
Makes sense.
So, and I'm not saying nothing wrong with his face, but it's a little different looking. I mean, no disrespect, Robert. Don't.
And she said it was Deadly Possessions was the show.
Gotcha. Can't remember the name of itself, so I'm gonna put this up here. A more close up of his face here, if he lets me. 1 second here. Yeah, it was a while ago. It was a short-lived one-season show with Zach. I'm surprised it didn't stick well. I say it because you never know with Zach. Yeah, and once again, he's not letting me bring him up on camera. There it is. Wow, I don't get this, man. This is creepy and weird at the same time. So this is his face up close. 1 second here. I want to bring it up. That'll be between me and Jason here. It has a little bit of wear and tear on it. It's just, I don't know what it is, honestly.
Yeah.
If it's just been, sorry, I'm making sure we're not freezing again. There it is. So above me right here, it has some things on it. I don't know what that is. Let me see if I can find more on him, other than just
Has anybody found actual other versions of him out there? I mean, surely only not one doll was on there.
There's knockoffs of him. That's what they said. Ozzy blew up in season 1. It wasn't a real. It was a replica doll.
No, but I mean, from his time period, there's multiple dolls that were made, right?
I've never heard anything about him. This is a unique looking doll, unique to himself.
Yeah, Barbara said it looks like stab marks on his face.
It kind of does. I mean, but I don't understand what that is.
Stab marks, bad acne, something.
Yeah. But there's been a lot of claims, just different things, that this doll can move things. Like it says voodoo figurines around the room. They say it's aware of what goes on in his surrounding. Like if you're in the room with him, it's aware of you and things happening. This is all.
Has he ever been known to move?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. They said their neighbors would see this doll moving from room to room, and the people that owned it, or the kid and, well, he wasn't a kid. The original owner and his parents wouldn't be there at the time, and they could see the shadow of this doll, or the actual doll moving down in the Key West.
Wow, from room to room.
Yeah, through the windows.
See this?
This says local folklore. Allegedly, the doll has caused car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and just a bunch of other misfortunes.
So basically just bad luck. Absolute bad luck.
Yeah. And it was in a museum at one point. It said museum visitors supposedly would experience post-visit misfortunes for failing to respect Robert. And I've heard that too. If you disrespect him in any way, shape, or
Right.
form, you have something bad happen to you. And like you said, you're not supposed to. Okay, this is crazy. I didn't touch that. On the screen, something just popped up. You guys can't see it at home, but Jason saw it. I'm not touching anything, man. This is getting weird. I'm not frightened by it. It's just the fact something just popped up. I didn't even touch. Okay, all right. But like I said, it is one of the famous dolls. There's been a couple. I guess there was a movie about it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And they're not as famous as Annabelle, obviously, but they're
Right.
just. It is what it is. Like I said, I tend to make sure I don't say anything bad about this, just because you never know. Oh, that's another thing too. It says the legend behind it says supposedly it has supernatural abilities that allows it to move. It can change his facial expressions and make giggling sounds. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's wild. I want to see if there's anything else I can find on this. This just said a couple of things. I mean, yeah, it talked about going to Zach's museum, but it's obviously not there anymore.
Yeah.
It was just there for the show. Where is this thing at? Or where is he at? Looks like he's still down in Key West, Florida. He's at the Fort East Martello Museum down in Key West. He's been called the most haunted doll
Yeah, I can
ever.
believe it.
I want to say, who brought it? Was it Zach or was it Ghost Adventure or Ghost Hunters Taps? They brought it to a location. I think it was Zach.
It was probably a Zach.
It was
I don't
Zach. He
think-
brought it into
yeah.
some random like theater to see if he can get it to interact with things, and he had some weird stuff going on. Well, for TV, but
Yeah.
still, they brought him in. I want to say it's like a violin case or it's like a small suitcase or something. It was.
That's not disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is the owner, so.
Right.
Yeah, I would go check him out and be cautious about it, but that's another thing too. Yeah, Renee said supposedly if you didn't ask permission to take his picture, things would start to happen to that person. I mean, if you got to be respectful of his doll. So it's just crazy. I mean, it is what it is, but like I said, I was having weird things just happen right now, and I don't
So
know.
who's next?
That's it. No, I'm
That's
kidding.
it?
No, I'm
All
kidding.
right.
So that's the infamous Robert the Doll. If you want, if you're brave enough, look more up on him and see what you think. Let me know if you think it's haunted. I tend to think he is, personally.
Ask if you can take him home and take a nap with him.
Okay, I don't know about that, but all right.
I wonder how frail he is, though, the actual doll itself, you know?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, for the picture on the left, it looks real innocent, but the one in the
Yeah.
middle, you can see his face, like you said, the stab wounds, whatever that is.
Yeah,
It's just a
I
little.
just wonder if he's, like, deteriorating.
Could be. I
You know?
mean,
I don't know how often they would take care of him. And
so it's from the early 1900s, so
yeah.
who knows? So, yeah, so that's one doll. We can talk about the infamous one. Might as well.
Might as well move to that one.
Yep, let's go and get her up here. We're talking about, of course, Annabelle, which everybody knows who she is.
Is not a porcelain doll.
No. The real doll looks like this. Maybe. It's weird. This show's doing weird things. I'm not even clicking on things, and it's doing whatever it wants to. It's bringing it up on one image and not the other. So I didn't click that to do that, and it brought it up next to Robert. And then
They're just anxious to be seen.
now this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. They're just anxious
Yeah.
to be seen, you know?
So the real Annabelle doll was a nursing student's original property, and her and her roommates. I mean, she lived with another nursing student. She was so freaked out by this doll because they would see this thing move on its own. It would be on its bed one day, and the next thing you know, it would be in somewhere else in her room. They reportedly saw her standing straight up on its own.
Yeah. It's attacked people.
Yeah.
Attacked the boyfriend.
Yeah,
that
they didn't
was
like the
living there.
boyfriend coming in there. Yeah, so it just like you said, attack the boyfriend. I can't talk. Trying to
Excuse
figure it out. No, you're fine. I know Hollyweird has made that porcelain-looking thing, whatever. It's supposed to be real scary-like, and it is what it is. But I think this one. Is that you?
Yeah, I sniffed.
I heard like a whistle.
Oh. No.
Anyways, where it's currently at, it was in the original nursing student gave it to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they had it in their haunted museum, their occult museum, whatever it is.
Still there, right?
Yeah, but it's ran by her son-in-law, Tony Spera. He runs it now. He's part of NES, PRS, or something like that, or New England Paranormal Research.
NES, PRS, whatever.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. He's the one you saw if you ever watched the Ghost Adventures episode. He took it to Vegas for Zach to. Once again,
supposedly
to use, but he told them specifically, don't touch it, whatever. And of course, Zach inadvertently touched it, but he really did touch it. I think
he
on purpose.
Turns to act like something said something, and he turns and his hand just happens to fly right toward the doll. And
right.
Oh, I touched it. Oh.
Which it ticks Tony off, and he's like, all right, we're done. I'm taking it with me. We're out of here.
He
told you not to touch it.
Don't
yeah,
touch
and Zach decided to do his own thing.
That's all he had to do.
Yep. But. Once again, this is one of the most haunted dolls in the world. That's why it's behind glass. When it first was there, early on, there's a famous story of a bunch of people. They would give tours to their museum, the Warrens would, and there was a high schooler kid or young adult basically came in there and thought it was funny it's like, this doll's not haunted, and tapped on the glass and was just kind of saying bad things to it. Well, allegedly he left that night on a motorcycle and was killed instantly. After the fact. So it grew the folklore that, if you disrespect the doll, Annabelle, it's going to have its negative effect on you. So, I don't know.
When we were in Missouri, Tori and I found a, huge version of that.
Annabelle?
Yeah, and, oh, man, it looked just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Looked vintage and everything, and I thought about bringing it, just sitting it in the chair.
Should have.
And stuff. I know, I should have. But we're going to go back in September, so I may actually do that.
Yeah.
But the doll was huge. I thought, that'd be awesome on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. We as a group go out to a place up northeast Kansas, Oberlin, and there's the Decatur County Last Indian Raid Museum. We do public investigations there. We've done private ones with the group itself. But there's a couple doll rooms. There's one in the main museum area, and there's one across the way in the annex place.
Yeah.
Where there's 4 or 5 of these Raggedy Ann dolls sitting there, and I'm always trying to get them to interact and move, and people are like, don't make them move, and they're freaking out all the time.
They have so
the public always
many
get,
of those.
yeah, I can think of at least 3 on one side and maybe another 2 or 3 on the other side. So maybe 6, 7 dolls maybe of this, but they're in different areas, but I'm always trying to get it to act, and I could have swore the very last time we were out there, it looked like one was moving, but I think it was just my imagination hoping it was moving, but I don't think it did. So
yeah.
But yeah,
the annex there is amazing too.
It's a big, gigantic room. Yeah, and artifacts everywhere.
I feel like every time we have guests there, even if it's just us as a team, we have stuff that happens there every time.
Oh yeah, yep.
And maybe it's because of the dolls and where they've been and stuff like that.
I mean, where these dolls came from, they were given by local townspeople and from Oberlin. They created this big museum, and they gave whatever they had to make these artifacts.
So therefore, all these artifacts, it's kind of like collecting from an antique shop. You know? I mean, you're putting all this stuff together in a museum.
Right.
I mean,
well,
that's like the perfect potion right there.
Yeah. Everything. And we've had lots of activity out there. That's, if you ever watch, if you go back to one of the, I think it was on the Everyday Legacy Paranormal, the Facebook page that night, I was out and it was a nasty rainstorm, so we had to take a quick break because
to get to leaving me behind.
Yeah, get to go between buildings to buildings, and it's just not the annexes. There's also a church, a school. There's an old jail. There's an old doctor's dentist office. There's all kinds of stuff here. The train station, whatever, the little depot. There's also just a random different hodgepodge of buildings on this one property, but. To get to location between them, it's outside, it's on grass, so there's a lot of mud and rain that night. So a vicious storm came through there, lightning and thunder and everything. So we had to basically stick where we were and stay where we were. You and I were in the main building with a bunch of guests.
Yeah.
So we were calling a break in between. We do about every hour or so. We do maybe a 10, 15-minute break just so people can go to the bathroom, whatever.
Right.
Jason was talking to some of the guests, just playing some evidence to kill some time, for lack of a better word. I don't know why I got a wild hair.
I tried to do evidence.
Yeah.
You left me.
For some reason, I got a wild hair. I went to another part of the building, and it's a place we never investigate. It's called the library. It's a old barn stable. It has a bunch of
It shows the
different
old
things.
Communications that they used to have,
There's sickles out there. There's all kinds of cutting machinery hung up and stuff like that. Anyways, I made my way out there, and I'm just talking, filming.
Happening.
Yeah, the storm was going, and all of a sudden a door slams, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's the way I had to come through, whatever, basically. And everybody on joining me live that night saw this thing happen, whatever, and they're like, holy shit. Well, that's the way I can either go outside in the rain, or I can, stay here and just take my chances. So I started doing more things, but I found Dan later on, and I was telling him about what happened, and he went over there with me. I was showing him, and there's a door that was closed in between the library and this area that had a bunch of typewriters and stuff. Anyways, we were asking the door to move on camera during Facebook Live, and the thing started rattling, moving on command. We didn't notice as we walked past the door. There was wet footprints there, like something came out of the storm, basically. Even though nobody had came on there, we had cameras going inside that place too, and I made sure nobody walked in there other than me, and I didn't go outside in the rain.
Right.
But something walked up, and you could see. It was kind of weird because you would have thought this long library is like a barn type. You would have thought that where they walked in from out in the rain, there would have been a trail of wet footprints from there all the way to the store, and there wasn't. There was only one set of footprints inside the door that Dan and I had just witnessed, and so the viewers at home witnessed this door rattling on command. So I don't know if that was paranormal or not, but it's still it's pretty freaky. But yeah, and that place, once again, talking about Raggedy Ann dolls and all that stuff, there's a lot of haunted objects in there.
So what if the possibility of spirits aren't just, the power of themselves and moving about? What if it is absolutely the building or objects that are in them that are actually creating all this?
I mean, I believe it. I mean,
say somebody dies in the place or worked there for 20, 40 years, and they left their part of their soul there, working there, like we all do basically with our jobs. But what if it's actually just each location that absorbs that energy and actually is manifesting all this? What if it's like the house is and the walls are talking?
Sure.
In such a way. I mean,
yeah. It's
kind of a different way of looking at it, but...
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, like I said, we've been to locations where they're brand new houses and people are like, I'm having paranormal activity in my house. And that's when I usually question, well, did you bring anything in recently that's different? Yeah. Or, like an antique or...
The family that we went to, I remember that.
And they're like, at first they were like, no, but I was like, well, think about it. The materials, the building materials, where'd those come from? The wood that you built this house with, the ground that you're on. It's possible that, if objects hold energy like they say they do, you could be bringing in wood from a haunted location unbeknownst to you, and next thing you know, your house is haunted. But in this case, it ended up being they did just get, if they thought about it, they had that tricycle for their daughter. It was an antique tricycle from her deceased, I think her dad or grandpa.
Right.
And some of that, and they were seeing a man, so they think it was him. It wasn't vicious or anything, but that was one of the entities that were there.
Maybe it just absorbed his energy.
I mean, possible. I mean, if he...
And then for everybody who lives in that or works in that spot, from that point on, your energy is absorbed into that and it changes. That's why maybe everything changes from that point, from each haunting. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm still trying to come up with the reasons and the background for why there is such a thing.
Yeah. Well, think about also too, when we go out on an investigation, we're always filming with cameras and stuff like that, and is it possible that because we see things through those lenses, that those lenses capture any images or haunted happenings in those lenses themselves? I mean, they talk about mirrors capturing an object, spirits getting trapped in there. Why not? Why couldn't a video camera, capture a movement of some sort and burn it and engrave it into our lens, our paranormal or your video camera lenses.
Right.
It's possible.
Well, we're always asking, you know, like kind of like what Barbara's asking right there.
I just saw that too.
But we're always asking, you know, hey, you can use my energy, you can use my camera, you can use my phone, our equipment.
Our batteries.
What if it's like taking our energy and just manipulating it, and then it changes?
I mean, it's possible. They use it to manifest, possibly, or
they're using,
create an object to
if
move.
they're using our energy, it's coming from our soul, our body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like they're taking a part of us.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
do they retain that? I mean, do they keep it with them? Do they ever give it back to us? I mean, that's one thing nobody's ever.
Did they recharge us again before we leave?
Because I mean, there's places when we've done that, you feel drained and stuff like that because of
every time I'm done.
We call it the paranormal hangover. I mean, you feel like you haven't slept in days, and you just feel groggy and feel like crap basically for the next few days. Trying to read some of the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I truly. There has to be something with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just because somebody died here and they just happen to be floating around or walking.
Sure. I mean, and it may be partially that, too. It could be just that. I mean, I saw Rhea said that she had 2 people die in her house.
Yeah, I know.
But she said the walls haven't talked about anything yet.
Oh, damn it. Talk to
Or
them.
have they, Rhea? You may just not know.
You need to sit down with a cup of coffee and talk to your walls, you know?
Well, that's another thing, too. If you acknowledge that kind of stuff,
I know.
you're actually inviting potentially for things to start increasing.
How
activity.
often do we go somewhere and if we start to look for it, nothing happens?
Right.
You know? It's what they say about the Broadview. You go looking for Clarence, he ain't gonna show up for you.
Or does he?
Maybe not. I don't know. But that's the
I've never been in there other than a
he
couple
likes
things.
it when you're caught off guard and not really searching or expecting it.
Right.
I don't know.
It's possible. Quite possible. So what do you think about Annabelle? I mean, right there it looks innocent enough.
I'd love to know exactly who or what is attached to her, you know?
Well, the thing is, this is the supposed story behind her. It said she was given the doll in 1970. It said the doll started behaving strangely. So she had a psychic medium, and I don't know if it was necessarily Warren. What's her name? Lorena Warren.
Right.
What's her name? Is it Lorena? Lorraine Warren. God, I don't know. I'm so freaking tired. Sorry, guys. A psychic medium told her that the doll was inhabited by a spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle.
Right.
So then, hence the naming convention or the naming Annabelle came out of that. And is it a deceased girl? I don't know. What if it's a deceased man? I mean, pretending to be a girl, or dare I say, a demonic spirit pretending to be a little girl, like that we've thought, over the years could happen. Trying to gain a trust. Once again, what's innocent? A doll, a little girl, whatever. They're approachable. I want to see if there's anything else. The Warrens claimed it was a demonic possession. That's why they moved the doll to the museum and stuff like that after the girl said the girl gave it to him.
Yeah.
That's why it's behind a glass box. It's also behind a pillar of salt also too on the outside to keep the spirit supposedly trapped in there.
Salt
if that
and burn.
works. What'd you say?
Salt and burn.
Oh.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What Renee was asking what about this doll that belonged to our grandparents? My grandma that we talked about with Johnny Howes that one time.
Right.
How the doll's hand moved on its own. I mean, was it simple gravity just taking its toll? I mean, moving the doll's hand? Or why in that moment? What made it so unique that doll had to move in that moment? I mean, the doll has been sitting there forever. Huh?
Who saw it?
I don't remember if it was my cousin. I think my younger cousin, because he was afraid of that doll all the time. Whatever because you had to pass it to go to the bathroom back there.
Well, maybe it was his fear that actually
maybe increased
and that's the reason why it did it.
Yeah, because he would always walk past it and he would look at it and just keep his eye on it as he went to the bathroom.
See,
and then it moved that time.
What's crazy about that is the fact that my grandparents had a 2-story farmhouse out in Missouri in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's where my mom was raised. I mean, that's all she knew. But her sister, mentally handicapped, but her age frame, in her state of mind, was more for a child. So she loved dolls.
Sure.
So to go to the back bathroom, the only bathroom in the
Mhm.
house, you have to walk through her bedroom area to get to the bathroom. And there was dolls everywhere.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Up on the wall and hanging around and stuff like that. And some with the heads that do move and the eyes move and stuff like that.
Right.
And it would freak me out every time I'd walk down there because even though I was just a kid, you know, that whole paranoia of the dolls are going to reach out and touch me or something like that. Because
Right.
I always hated, like, in the middle of the night, if I was sleeping downstairs, I'd have to go to the bathroom and I'd wake up and I'm like, I don't know if I can make it down that hall, you know, and I'd have to, like, just quickly run as quietly as I could without waking anybody
Sure.
up, you know. God, that was crazy.
Torture.
Yeah.
Heath asked a question too. He says, "Is this the reason that activity spikes when renovations start? There's a new energy that to feed off of." I mean, it's possible. I think
There
a lot
you
of
go.
people
That's a good one,
think.
too.
I think the most common belief with that is because you're changing up the makeup of the house that or whatever the
Of
building
how it was, yeah.
how it originally was, and maybe the spirits that are there get restless, thinking, "Why are you changing my house or changing our business or whatever?" Because there's been reports of, like, even caught on camera and stuff like that, where a spirit will all of a sudden go this way and then turn into a wall, and it's like, why do they keep going into the wall? Well, and they've come to find out after doing some future or for additional research, they found out there used to be a doorway there. There used to be a hallway there, and that's maybe they think that spirit was going through there and going to what they know, possibly.
Well, and think about it, too, that the house is attached to the ground. So after
Mm-hmm.
40, 50 years, it becomes kind of like one with the ground.
Yeah.
After all that, you know, and what if all that energy to it, from the earth to it,
Right.
you know, to the people that are living there for so long, and then something happens and they pass, and
Sure.
you know, it becomes such a, I don't know, maybe it's like a, hell, I don't know, but you know, it just becomes a mechanism for that energy
Yeah.
burst. That
Well, I mean, the ground is charged. I mean, think
Yeah.
about it. The earth, you know,
it's
has
pumping all kinds of stuff into
you know
it.
all kinds of energy out of it from the core all the way up to the top. You know, so and
Yeah.
all the way to the atmosphere.
Right.
There's ions everywhere and stuff like that. So yeah, why wouldn't it be charged? So,
Right.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but yeah, I never really thought about what he said. You know, is it because there's a new energy to feed off of there because of the renovations? I mean, that's quite possible.
Right.
I mean, that's not. I mean, it's not unheard of. I mean, or it's not a. I don't know. I've never thought about that before. That's a good take on that. I like
don't
that.
know. It's just, yeah. Just sitting here listening and talking about it and stuff just makes me realize there's so much more to it, maybe, than just the simple
Mhm.
fact that somebody died or it's demonic.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody that's not looking for the paranormal or wanting to see the paranormal thinks it's demonic because they're just getting
Yeah.
the creeps, whatever, you know, and they feel like it's got to be demonic because my belief or my subconscious won't let me
There's an
allow
object that
it.
was thrown at me. Well,
Yeah.
that's because the spirit just doesn't like you. You know,
Yeah,
plain
or
simple.
I
Maybe
mean-
you're an asshole in life. You
Or
know?
maybe they were, you know, they're just grumpy. We had a case, such a case where it was reported that they would hear a dragging sound, you know, of this man walking around, and repeatedly they'd be down. The guy was doing a lot of, especially a lot of renovations in the basement, and he would hear the dragging sound up above on a wooden floor.
Yeah.
Come to find out after doing some research, the man had a problem with his foot. He had like a club foot or something, they said, so he did drag his foot. He was just walking up and down all the time because he would go from whatever area he was to the back bedroom because he had his wife was not disabled, she was sick or something,
was sick,
whatever,
I think.
and
Yeah.
so he would check on her consistently. And that's some of the claims that even the owners said they would feel like laying in bed. There's a man staring at me in the
Yeah.
hallway watching in. Maybe it's
Could
just
hear
history
the footsteps
repeating. Yeah.
sometimes coming up to the door and all that.
Yeah. He had in the basement, he had a big work area that you and I had a crazy experience. We were looking in the dark, staring at it. What are you doing?
Looking at Annabelle.
Okay. You and I had that experience where we were looking down to where his workspace would have been. Right? The current owners just had it full of stuff, storage at the time. But it was so damn dark you couldn't even see in front of your hands. And you and I were just staring at this darkness. And all of a sudden we hear this inhumane growl. I mean, but I don't think it was demonic, or I think it was him just like, "Rah, get out of here," And we both looked at each other. I go, "Did you hear that?" And you're like, "Of course, yeah." And it was loud, and it was just caught me off guard, and something out of the dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. The weird story about that, the husband and wife, deceased. Um, there was one time a neighbor claimed that the guy went out to the front yard and it was hot, and he passed out in the yard or something, or he laid in the yard, and they thought he fell and was hurt. So they approached him, and his eyes are open. He's still just looking there, or whatever, and he's still alive at that time. And they said, "You need help? Are you okay?" And he's like, basically, "Get the hell out of here!" He was just a grouch, and he was just grumpy, and just yelled at him, whatever. And like, "Okay, dude, you can whatever. You're on your own. I was coming to see if you needed help. I thought you had a medical emergency, kind of a thing."
Right.
He was just a jerk, basically, in life. They said he was grouchy and whatnot, and maybe that's why we got growled at. I mean, who knows? And like I said, a lot of it was. I don't think it was residual. I think a lot of it was intelligent because we had that interaction with him. One thing I remember, the guy that was renovating in the basement said he had a step stool he was working up trying to reach an area he couldn't reach from the ground up, and he said he felt like something rushed up on him. So me wanting to recreate that, I went up on the step stool and was not taunting, just saying, I'm right here on your step stool. You did it to the owner, the current owner. Can you do that to me? Can you knock me off the step stool, like he felt you were going to do to him?
Right.
And on recording, you hear this thing goes, "I could if I want to," and maybe he could, but he didn't try it. But I don't know.
Probably because that's what you were wanting.
Yeah, I was wanting to have the interaction with him, and if he would have, I'd have been like, "Holy crap!"
I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So what is going on now? My phone's going apeshit. Oh my god. Okay, this is crazy. But yeah, so it's crazy. The energy of the renovation, possibly. Maybe that's what stirred it up.
It has to have something to do with it. From the house, the land, to everything that you do, and it's not just the fact that somebody died.
Sure.
There has to be a lot more to it.
And maybe it is the fact that somebody just died, because if you died in a house of vicious murder or whatever, you fell down the stairs and you laid there and nobody found you for days, and you didn't have a peaceful transition, I guess we'll call it, or death.
Right.
Maybe maybe there's some kind of rule you have to do somebody whatever, or you're stuck here or whatever. Or are we all stuck here? Who knows? There's no definite proof one way or the other.
We're living the TV show Lost. We're actually in, purgatory.
Is there a big smoke cloud coming from the forest? Because what was I going to say? You made me think about something. Oh crap! What was it? Shoot. I don't remember. I lost my train of thought because the whole smoke cloud threw me off. Sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, what I was going to say was there's a lot of people's beliefs that when somebody does pass, there's a waiting period from when the minute they die to maybe wherever they're going. If you believe in heaven, if you believe in hell, if you believe in whatever, there's so many hours, minutes, whatever, that you have that opportunity, a higher opportunity to interact with that individual. I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, what do you think about that? You shook your head like you knew what I was talking about right away. Have you heard that too? That there's a higher chance to talk to that individual after their passing?
I have. I've been told that there's I've been told that sometimes spirits can't do anything or communicate for a year. Up to a year of their from their passing.
Really?
It's gives her a chance to build up. I don't know.
Huh.
I've been told that.
I've never heard that before.
I know.
That's
was my first. I can't remember who told me that, but yeah, maybe there is a chance that they have a certain amount of time to either stick here, stay here, or move on.
Right.
Or maybe moving on just means they're just bored with you and they're moving on down the street.
Could be.
Or they are bouncing around. Talking to Lena.
Mm-hmm.
Certain spirit is actually moving around, enjoying life now.
Sure.
When they couldn't.
Yeah.
Here.
Right.
In physical form, but now on the state that they're in now, they're bouncing around, enjoying life, seeing everybody, and being a part of everyone's daily life.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me seems plausible given who that was.
Right. So what makes that brings up an interesting point. How does a spirit, I wonder, what form do they choose, what form they come back to? Because, in the case you're talking about, this person was sick.
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of their life, and what makes it to where they get to choose the life they had previously, where they could, physically move around, not sick, versus the end part where they were sick all the time, or is it both? Maybe it's the whole stages of their life they get to live out, and maybe history repeats itself. I don't know.
I just can imagine that this person was at the point of life and time that she wanted to be.
Right.
And is capable of moving around and doing the things that she was dying to do.
Sure.
Not, no pun intended.
No, not taken.
But you know what I mean? She was like actually wanting to.
Right. Get the opportunity to live her life as they always hoped.
And being what I've been told and stuff makes sense from everything I am being told.
Mm-hmm.
Because it fits her. It fits what she wanted and everything like that. So therefore, to me, it's like it's a good feeling.
Right.
Is that happening with everybody? Talking to Lena about who, is attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
The other people that are attached to me fits. It fits. I mean.
Yeah.
The person I was really close with him.
Yeah.
Very close, and he's right there,
still around,
going along. But he's not just with me. He's my brother and other people and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And it's fun to think that. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Now for her, she was not religious.
Sure.
So she's, she wanted nothing to do with that. Her family was religious. Well, her mom's side.
Yeah.
Was very religious. It was a wacko religion. I'll just say it. I ain't going to get into it, but it was a wacko religion. It wasn't your typical. And she didn't want anything to do with that, so she bailed, and that's, so therefore, she's not going to be, she wasn't looking for the light or the,
Right.
So does that play a factor in things, too?
I don't know.
All based on beliefs.
And I mean, and that
stuff,
could be
it
may be your belief, not you, not Jason. I'm talking about just a person's belief, because let's face it, not everybody believes in religion.
Right.
I mean, some people do, some people don't. Each religion's different, I mean, everybody has their own types of religions. Is religion even associated with this? I mean, ghosts.
So if they believe in finding the light and going to that and finding that peace, what if in their state of mind in that part they actually do?
Right.
In a sort of way.
Yeah.
Whereas other people who do not believe in that, they move on and they're able to just go do whatever they want.
Possibly.
I don't know.
And once again, what about if a ghost is the exact essence of, the word spirit? When your body dies, your body supposedly has a spirit inside of you, whatever. What if that's what the makeup is? A ghost is a spirit. I don't know. The question from Barbara was, don't most people after death experiences involve a light regardless of religion? I don't know.
So a lot of scientists have actually looked into that, and they actually think that it is our natural state, because given everything we've been taught and told over the portion of our lives, that you honestly see that, and maybe it's just your brain that is actually functioning in that aspect. I mean,
right.
What if it's just a flash from all the rush of that electricity in your body, just doing that, and that's what you see? Who knows?
Yeah,
but scientists are looking into that. I mean, they say, a lot of people say they see light.
Yeah.
Other people say that they are floating over their own body. Some people say they are walking around the room and saying, oh, don't do that, don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all different things that people say at that supposed, near-death experience.
Sure. And see, I've never personally, to my knowledge, met anybody who's had that near-death experience where they saw the light. That I know of. Nothing comes off the top of my head. Now, do we know people who passed around us recently? Even the last X month, of course, we've had 3 of our teammates pass away.
Well, and the recent one actually has, communicated.
Potentially with us.
Potentially,
you talking about the very last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we think we have interacted with one of our teammates that just passed away a year ago in September, or I think it was August or September. It's possible. I mean, but we don't know 100% if that's who we're talking with. We just assume it is based upon some things,
Yeah.
some interaction with her.
And just like anything else on this planet and the universe around us, we don't know.
Sure.
And just like Rhea said, we don't know. It's we only know as far as we know with our own experiences and what we write or what we watch on TV and everything like that. So therefore,
yep.
All we know is what we know so far. No one has from above or from out of space, from space or anything, come over and say, "Let us tell you the real story."
Sit down. You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was watching the book cover's moving, the agony, but it's because there's a vent above you. I just want to make sure I wasn't seeing things. So if you see the cover on the book move, it's not haunted, paranormal. It's a legitimate reason. There's a vent above Jason.
Plus, I keep hitting the table.
Oh, that could be that too. I've just never noticed it before.
It's all my hot air over here that I'm talking.
Yeah, I don't know. Now let's take a little bit of a different turn here. We talked about dolls, a couple dolls real quick, and we'll talk about more if we need to. But we talked about some of these before, so if it's a repeat, if you've seen this episodes years ago, you'll probably remember this. But there is a supposed painting that was haunted. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed or heard of this one before. It's called The Crying Child.
Is this a video?
No, it's a picture.
Okay.
It'll be up here on the screen in just a minute. So the story behind this is
Can I take 2 seconds because I'm getting old?
Okay.
Bathroom break.
Oh, you're fine. So I'll keep talking about it. So the Crying Boy painting that you see on screen now, it's a painting by an artist named Bruno. Oh, I'm gonna probably butcher the name. Amadeo. So it was mass produced, and this painting was. It was particular. I'm trying to read real quick here. It was particularly popular during the 60s through the 80s, and just as the name suggests, it's a painting of a boy in tears. People said that they hung this thing in their living rooms or whatever room they decided to, and supposedly a curse had followed. The earliest one was in 1985, where it was reported that firefighters in the UK were finding undamaged copies of these Crying Boy paintings, even though the house had burned down in in ashes, basically. They would find this painting intact, like it wouldn't burn, basically, is what they're trying to say. Basically, they're saying it was in pristine conditions. Let's see what else we got here. One other thing they pointed out is the fact that there seems to be more fires associated with this, possibly. Why the houses keep getting burned? They notice an increase in fires occurring. There's a company that said that they're theorizing the reason why it's more fires are actually happening is because these prints were varnished with fire repellent, they said, and the string holding the paintings would burn away, causing it to lie flat on the floor, whatever. But they can't really explain as to why this painting is behaving in this manner. It doesn't say there's anything other than the curse behind it was the fact that, it survives fires and basically maybe that it's causing,
it's creepy.
It takes with maybe the fires are occurring as a result of this painting. I don't see anything wrong with it. It is what it is. It's just a little boy painting. There's another one similar to it. I think it's a Crying Girl or something like that.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too.
Yeah, and you hear about the ones that supposedly have had real tears, like wetness come off of them, whatever like that, and that's the Crying Girl.
To, like the Virgin Marys and stuff like that.
Right, the figurines, whatever that people.
Are they haunted or is it divine?
Once again, it's whatever your religion believes are,
Right.
I don't know. We've seen those too.
Or is it the Tulpa thing? You believe in something long enough, it'll happen.
Quite possible. Or is it rigged?
To win the lottery.
Is it possible it's just yeah? Is it possible it's just a made up thing that people are trying to capitalize on, which has happened too? People have been caught fabricating that crying or the Bloody Mary, whatever, the face, where the figurine's bleeding supposedly.
Yeah, they use their own blood or blood of a goat or
something.
Or a cow or something. They've dripped it on there.
But this painting, I don't know. So do you think paintings can be haunted also too? I know it's an object, but do you think a painting like this, the story behind that, is possible?
Sure. Sure. I mean,
Jeremy.
what's that?
My buddy, or my brother-in-law Jeremy goes, what about the picture of Vigo the Carpathian? Carpathian from Ghostbusters.
I just watched that recently.
Did you?
Too, yeah.
Hey man, it came to life. So yes, it's possible it's haunted. The spirit crawled out of it. I saw it.
Yeah, but Vigo was a horrible painting. That mullet hair was just bad.
Yeah, well, it looked like the real dude almost too.
Yeah.
So that's what's funny. But I mean, yeah, is it possible the painting could be haunted, or is it a trapped spirit? But in this case, this was mass produced though.
Yeah.
So I mean, it couldn't be the same spirit, could it, in all those paintings?
No, it has to be something different in it. Wouldn't you think? Something different. What if the artist, like one tiny little thing is different, that he made it his own?
Yeah.
That one painting has something, and just something going on in his life at that moment when he was painting that one, and it was just sent out.
Okay, I have a different twist on this, similar to this. Okay, Charles Manson. There's paintings he did when he was in prison,
right,
where it was his own blood, some of his own hair, and other things, supposedly semen or feces or whatever. Is it possible that he painted with that and then sent them out to people? I think Zach has one too, of course, naturally, in the museum. Is it possible that a part of his evil spirit is trapped into his paintings by him doing this?
That's crazy to think, but yeah, I mean, you would imagine that something, especially since now that he's gone.
Right.
Maybe not so much when he was alive.
Right.
Now that he's gone, and he died of, old age, basically.
Yeah.
Kinda. Huh?
Kinda. He went in for surgery, and
oh, did he?
He was sick or something. I can't remember what it was, but it doesn't really matter.
But at least, I mean, he died.
He was older, yeah, of course.
He died. It wasn't from murder or suicide or anything, but
if only. Anyways,
it's crazy to think that possibly in time, maybe whoever has those could be experiencing stuff.
Because there was the infamous. While he was in prison, he's been there. He was there for obviously 50, 40 years, whatever it was.
Right.
40, 50 years. His personal TV from prison, he mailed to a guy that was an acquaintance of his that he became friends with over the years, and this TV supposedly was cursed that the guy that had it got rid of it. He's like, I don't want this because since I brought it in my house, things started happening, just because of his spirit. It's because of once again, it's because of his eyes focusing on the TV. Manson's, as he's projecting the spirit into it, whatever.
How many times
or
did he turn it off and just stare?
Manson?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, who knows what the dude did? But this object, this TV that was mailed to to him, it ended up getting his grandson, actually Charles Manson's grandson. His grandson or son actually got a hold of it finally. I think it was his grandson, and he brought it on to Zach, whatever, to give to Zach supposedly. Yeah, it's his son. I think it's Renee's son. But I thought he gave it to Zach to put in the museum at one point. Once again.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Renee was talking about it too. So, I mean, who knows by him doing, like I said, the paintings and stuff like that, if his pieces of them.
The screen and all the things he might have done inside his room.
Right. Well, I'm just saying part of it, I mean, his actual DNA is in this stuff, and now is it going to be rated? I'd be curious to test those to see if they have any interaction with them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, how would you get your hands on something like that?
No. What do you call it? Sorry, I got distracted by something. What happened to my? Oh my God, this thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. I mean, what about the dirt these people walked on, like these serial killers or whatever? The dirt they walked on. Is it possible that holds any of their negative energy that now that we have from somebody who's also walked upon that?
Yeah.
Can't like I think Heath mentioned earlier. Can it be transferred? Or no, it was Barbara. I think can it be transferred?
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's possible.
I mean, shoot, I've been in a house where
Yeah.
there was a murder.
Yeah.
You know, and I've walked all over that house.
Right.
And I walked, given the story that I was told from what happened during that murder, I walked the actual scene and walked it and everything. And I'm not the only person who ever did that.
Right. Right.
But who's to say that somewhere in that house that something I touched, that guy's fingerprints is still there?
Yeah.
So, you know, he just,
Right.
you know, and I don't know. It's weird just to think that. Or,
Yeah.
you know, you got the, what's the hotel that's been popular lately, the crazy
Cecil?
one? Cecil.
Hotel
you know,
Cecil.
you got the crazy serial killer that came in there.
Multiple. Richard
Um,
Ramirez and I can't remember
Yeah,
the guy's
Ramirez.
name.
So you've got
Foreign
his running around with blood and
Mm-hmm.
all the things he was doing
Right.
to people. And think
Well,
about
and before that, it was not even necessarily serial killers. The area itself, I mean, had all those
Right.
drug people on drugs, and just murders happening there or whatever.
all that energy
Yeah.
forming around it.
There was a former tenant said you knew not to go above X
Certain
floor or
floor,
whatever,
yeah.
because you know you would never make it out alive, basically. So that's just crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do those have? Yeah, do those have what do you call it?
Think about what his room, you know, Ramirez's room
Right.
would feel like.
Supposedly it's heavy and it's real. I mean, the air. Well, how much is
All
that?
the
Just
thoughts he
is your
had,
mind, whatever.
Things he would say
Yeah.
and do in there.
Well, and on that special episode of Ghost Adventures, excuse me, Zach had paintings, I think it was, from Ramirez that he took into the room, and he didn't tell anybody he had it in there. And they had some. I mean, he didn't tell. I'm talking about Aaron and the rest of the crew. They had no idea allegedly, and things started happening, and he told them, "I have these in here, by the way." I mean, is it connected to that painting, whatever that Ramirez once touched? Who knows?
Well,
and now the spirit's kind of getting released in that
Charles
room.
Manson.
Yeah.
What about his paintings?
Right.
You know, like I said, how would you go about getting your hands or even seeing those today? You know, reaching out to somebody who has a
Well,
painting of his and
if
just
they
saying,
do.
"Hey, can we experiment with that?"
Yeah. I mean, Zach has the painting in his haunted museum. He has the actual hospital gown when he died, with the blood and feces on there, and you pass away.
Of
That
course
you
he
can
has
still
that.
see the stains on it, whatever. He has that in the museum. He has other things. I mean, I think it's hair clippings or his false teeth or something like that.
Yeah, I knew about
With
the teeth and all
that has the
that.
pentagram on it inside there of Charles Manson's. That's all in the museum, and who knows what else he has. I would like to go check that museum out one of these days, but the problem is, if you come in conventional ways, it's like a 45-minute tour, and they just rush you through things. You don't get to see all the stuff they show on TV, whatever. Or,
Of course not.
I mean, some areas you don't even get to see at all. But
It's like the Stanley Hotel. You don't get to see the whole
yeah,
real part of it.
some of that might be just because maybe it is just that damn haunted. Who knows? That there's like we can't.
Well,
let
that's
you
what
in
they
here.
claim.
Yeah,
You know, the Stanley is that much haunted. And
Right.
they just don't want people to go into that area.
sure, for their own safety.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I think what else we have here that we can talk about here as far as other pictures and stuff. Let me see what
Bring
else
it
I got.
on.
Got quite a few I brought up.
You know, you see some of those in museums, like the doll heads and stuff like that, and their
Mhm.
heads move, they blink, or the doors open on their
Sure.
little case and stuff like that. Easily manipulated and faked, but,
Right.
you know, sometimes you just got to go with the word that the museum just has security camera on it, and that's it. There's nobody in there.
Yeah. Well, we've been to museums before, like the Decatur County one. We also went
Yep.
to one that with the doll room I told you about.
Yep,
in
the
Coffee
one you
County.
went to.
Yeah, that area you could just feel. Hey, it's creepy to walk in the doll room because it's just cases upon cases of dolls, but they all have eyes, obviously, and they feel like you're being watched consistently. Is it just your paranoia, maybe, or is it the dolls really watching you?
Right.
Who knows? But it has a bunch of different things. There was a lot of weapons in this one area, and who knows if those guns that were used to murder something or even an animal. I mean, hunting, whatever, and maybe it retains the spirit of that.
Remember, you and I were standing there in all the war section and everything, and we were getting all
Different
kinds
one.
of stuff
Yeah,
there
that
at the
different museum, but
Decatur. at Decatur.
Yeah.
So much energy and everything was coming to life right there.
These
just those objects.
I mean, these uniforms were worn during wars, from everything from World War I to up to Iraq. I mean, and that it's seen things. It was a part of something, you know. That I don't remember where that car is at. Renee said, "What about the Bonnie and Clyde vehicle?"
Oh,
I can't remember if
man.
that's the one in. There's a couple of
forget where
museums
it's
like
at.
that. Well, there's one in Hollywood called the Macabre Museum. I can't remember which one it is. They have a couple cars like that out there. They have whose car do they have out there? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, I forget where Bonnie and Clyde.
I can look it up real fast here while we're thinking about it.
I can. Can you imagine what that one's like?
That one has the bullet holes from when they were murdered.
Yeah, they were annihilated in that one. And then you had spectators coming over to try and cut body parts off of them.
Yeah, I
The
mean all their
trigger
blood and
finger
guts.
of
Yeah.
Clyde and all that.
It's located in
His
Whiskey
ear.
Pete's Hotel and Casino in Jean, Nevada.
Nevada.
I guess I didn't know that.
Isn't it crazy that they just have that and look at all the bullet holes?
Yeah, I'll bring it up for people to see.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So,
And I've seen the actual photos of them laying there, and
yeah, I mean, it's common knowledge.
yeah.
Let's see. So, this is the car itself. I'll put it up on for people at home to see. Yeah, like Renee said, I mean, who knows if that thing is haunted or retains, the energy of the infamous murder or whatever. I mean, not infamous murder. When they got shot down by the I don't know if it's the FBI who killed them.
I got a object or a place to bring up so we can get down with this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible since this one, they committed a lot of crimes in it, bank robberies, whatever it was, and yeah, who knows if it's...
Yeah.
Let me get another picture of this up too, because there's another one that's even better. Well, not better, but you can see the bullet holes better on this car. Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious too to see if it has any secrets to tell of sorts. That was weird. I'm getting a pain in my side all of a sudden. and then, of course, Robert the Doll was there. So this is the picture you can see inside there. I can't tell. It looks like blood smears on there still too. Even I mean, who knows? I don't think. Did they clean the car out? I don't think so.
How much did they clean it?
Probably not.
Know.
That's funny. I was going to bring that up too, Rhea. I thought about that too. Debit boxes. All right. What were you going to say, Jason? We'll talk about debit boxes too.
Oh, I was just what about the corner there inside the book depository building?
Oh, down in Texas?
Yeah. Just that whole corner, from everything from what he was sitting on, whoever was sitting on it.
I was going to say, was it him? Who's they?
To, whoever touched the window moved it up, and,
right.
Everything in that spot. That was such a traumatic moment in history itself. I'm so curious about it. I've been up there twice.
Yeah, at the
and
museum.
Just stared at it. I've gotten as close as I could to that actual window, and it blows my mind just to think about the energy that's probably. Shoot, I shouldn't have said that. But it's crazy to think about the amount of energy that is.
Right. I mean, it's forever stamped in
there.
history. Yeah.
And they claim that it's still, that corner is exactly how it was from the day
of, right.
All they did was put glass around that whole section.
Right.
It's a huge section, but the boxes are still there. The book depository boxes are still there. I mean, you can actually imagine everything going down and then seeing that figure running off towards you and then dissipating. That's how my mind works with that whole spot.
I mean, I'd be curious, like you said, is there anything even residual maybe happening that you could see the murder, not the murder, but the assassination of JFK taking place?
Right.
Who knows? I mean, nobody's ever said anything to my knowledge.
Right.
And
well, it's such a hush-hush kind of place that I don't know if they would allow any kind of work there,
Right. So Jason's talking about this is the museum as it is today of the sixth
floor.
Sixth floor
Book depository.
book depository. I was going to say suppository.
I know.
A little different meaning. But right above Jason's right ear, that's what it looks like today. There's still boxes there. The window's still cracked, but it's behind closed glass now. I mean, plexiglass, the window,
Yeah.
so it's not getting any air in there. But suppose that's how, well, depends what you believe. I mean, this is supposedly where Oswald fired the infamous three rounds from
Somebody
that
was
killed.
seen up there with a gun.
Yeah.
But nobody can actually pinpoint that it was actually him.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And you can't even get in there now. It's all sealed off with glass, all three sides of it, and then, of course, or two sides of it, and then, of course, the two.
That's just one angle to it.
Yeah.
You can walk around to the other side.
You can see the glass.
But, man.
You can see it reflecting.
It's just a great, but, it's a great piece of history, but the investigator in me wants to, get in there and actually test some stuff out. I mean.
Right.
Talking about if walls could talk, if, objects could actually, hold that energy.
Right.
What the hell could we find there?
Well, and I know you've been there. I've been there too. Other people have been there. Where the spot where the final headshot was.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of energy is radiating off of that? Is there anything there?
I don't know.
You can't
that's the
stand
thing.
there long enough because it's on a
He was in a
busy
car
street.
and he was moving,
Right.
fast.
Right.
He took off, but yeah.
I mean, I'd be curious to see if you could stand there and feel anything from that actual X marks the spot.
Yeah. I mean, take a buddy because there's traffic right there, so
you can't
stand in the
there.
street too long. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, stand right there. I jumped out there and but I was so
sit on
taken
there, too.
over by I'm at the spot,
Right.
that I couldn't think about anything else. But
Yeah.
if you could just close your eyes and stand there for a while and
Or the grassy knoll, the fence that's still there, the picket fence
I've
that's
gone over
written
to
on
the
there.
fence
Yeah, I have too.
many times.
It's
and
all
just
signed and graffitied now and all kinds of stuff. People,
suck.
yeah, they
People
desecrated it, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And you can see the angles of it, well, a little different. You can see today's angles from it.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they have any kind of paranormal activity with this location out and down in Dallas.
Yeah.
What else we got here? I got a few more, and then we can break out what I was going to break out. Well, we talked about things. Ouija boards too. I mean, just not two, but also when people use them, whether it be for recreational purposes or whether it be on an investigation, we'll say,
Trying to show off on
Yeah.
investigations and stuff.
or whatever. Even that. I mean, are you really bringing out an energy from that, or spirits from that? And how do we know they don't stay with that board or continue on? Or I mean, you try to say, oh, okay, I'm opening the portal now. I'm going to close it now. Just because I'm saying words doesn't mean it actually does or doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, could it possibly? It's not any different than us using a spirit box, or just using a digital recorder. We talked about that. That's inviting something to come through, whatever, and you get whatever comes through. So, nothing wrong with Ouija boards. I don't have a problem with them.
They're made for kids. It's all right.
Yeah, but
No, I mean,
not
Kathy,
the original ones.
like Kathy talked about when we went up to Josephine. She was explaining out loud, for purposely for certain people who was listening because
Right.
they were bringing Ouija boards into the hotel.
Yeah.
She said, the original Ouija boards were, made of skin
Skin and bones.
bones
Yep.
and stuff like that. Sometimes part of a dried up heart
Right.
was made with the bones to actually use as the piece.
Yep.
It was actually pretty grotesque.
Yeah.
And that in itself could probably absorb that energy and any negative energy and stuff like that. But,
Right.
Parker Brothers, I don't know.
I agree with that, Barbara. She said most people don't close the sessions, leaving that door open. I would agree with that. They don't know that there's supposedly a proper method to even open it, to close it,
Right.
and all that stuff, and interaction between.
Case in point, even Roth told me his story back when he was young and dumb and stuff like that. He's doing it. Yeah, he didn't realize at the time that you have to
Right.
close it off
Right.
because he left it open.
Yep.
And then weird stuff started happening, and
Sure.
until he finally learned, oh, you've got to close that off. So
Yeah.
he went back and he did that. But it's sometime later, and after a lot of experiences and bad stuff happening, he finally realized it.
Yep.
So.
going to play one of my favorite videos of,
Gotcha.
speaking of Ouija boards. We've seen it on the show a couple times, but I love it because it's kind of creepy if it's real. It's an experiment it's a couple people, 3 people, I think 3 or 4 people playing around with the Ouija board.
Right.
And something goes wrong. Hang on one second here. I don't know we're probably getting a bad echo, and I apologize, people at home.
Are we?
I don't know. We may not be. Hang on one second. Let me fix this real quick before I move on to the next thing, or else we will get echoes. How the hell is it even working? This is weird at night. Okay. She says we're not echoing.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear us. I made a change real quick.
No, not the changes.
So, okay, well, I'm going to play this video, like I said, of this incident with the Ouija board. Like I said, it's one of my favorite ones. I want to say it was done on Live Paranormals, people who were doing it. So I trust the person that was doing it. As far as authenticity. So here's the video I'm talking about. It's a incident with the Ouija board. Authenticity. So here's the video I'm talking about. It's a incident with the Ouija board. Authenticity. So here's the video I'm talking about. It's a incident with the Ouija board. Authenticity. So here's the video I'm talking about. It's a incident with the Ouija board. Authenticity. So here's the video I'm talking about. It's a incident with the Ouija board.
That is so creepy. What the? Monica, what are you doing? Hey, Monica! Oh my God, Monica! Okay. What is your name? What the? Monica, what are you doing? Hey, Monica! Oh my God, Monica! Okay. What is your name? What the? Monica, what are you doing? Hey, Monica! Okay. What is your name? What the? Monica, what are you doing? Hey, Monica! Okay. What is your name? What the? Monica, what are you doing? Hey, Monica! Okay. What is your name? What the? Monica, what are you doing?
Alright, we're back. Go figure, the moment I try playing, it's not playing right. It's echoing, or it's really like a looping, they said, and I heard it too. I couldn't figure out what the hell's going on. That was weird. Hopefully you guys heard some of it. But anyway, with the point of it was that video was they were messing around with the Ouija board, 3 people, and they thought it was funny, whatever, and she starts laughing basically. But then it's like she gets stuck in the right. It's Barbara says it's Robert. I don't even know. But the point of it was the video was, like I said, she's like something possessed her by her touching that. I mean, possibly, or something. I don't know what the story behind that is 100%, but still, it was a creepy situation. But yeah. Anywho, yeah, who knows? God, this show, I swear, when we start doing shit like this. So we got about 30 minutes left in the show. So what I'm going to do is talk about. You guys know about our the book right there, The Agony That Remains. It's a story about Tahlequah that we got to go down there and investigate. Anyways, I forgot I did this until recently. When we were down there, we slept in tents and whatnot.
Yeah.
and
Some of
I
us.
packed. No, I slept in there the first time.
Yeah.
I packed my tent up, but I forgot I had found something down there, and I put it in the tent.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I brought it back with me. And earlier this year, my family was using the tent, and they opened it up, and like, what the hell is that? And we were taking it apart, and it fell out. I'm like, holy crap, I forgot about that, and it's been sitting in this tent bundle forever. So I'm going to bring it out tonight. What it is I remember being out. The thing with Tahlequah, you've heard us tell the story 100 times. It's the Indian family that lived on this property. The Trail of Tears where it ended. They had all those weird little occurrences happening with the little fairies, the little witches, whatever they called
Lights
them.
in the sky.
The UFOs, potentially, the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot. I found something on the ground randomly out of nowhere, and how many times have we been there? Lots of times, and why would this thing was there randomly all of a sudden? Who knows? But it's in the same area we always were, and I looked down and all of a sudden this was there. It's this little, like, this. People at home, if you can see it. Let me, how can I put this? I don't know if you can see it or not at home. It's this random little thing. It's an arm of sorts. It's reddish brown, like an Indian color. I mean, like, I don't know. And I don't know what it belongs to. Why it's on a string of all things, too. Who knows?
And there were no kids on the property ever. I mean, these are grown men. I think one of them has passed away.
Yeah, he passed
cancer.
away. Yep. So I always thought it was weird. I mean, I don't know what it is.
I never knew you did that. I didn't know anything about it.
If you want to touch it, it's up to you. I've been having it in my pocket this whole night. I probably shouldn't have it. But it's a reddish color. It's not like a brown color for, African American. It's more red.
It's a hair tie, too.
Yeah, and what's that about? I don't know. So, it's the randomest thing, but it's from Tahlequah, and it's been here ever since.
And you just forgot about it?
Yeah, until it fell out of the tent. I'm going to put it next to the book. You got the holy water. If they can see that on camera or not. Probably not. Let me scoot that back. So I'm going to put that there for the time being. I brought some equipment down too. Hopefully we can get some things on there. Just kind of monitor it the next couple for the show.
That's crazy.
Yep. Not a big fan of the K2, but I'm going to put it next to it and see if I can't get
very cool.
Any kind of reaction, hopefully. Had a little bit of a blip there. Come on, stay up there so I need that stand for it. Nope, ain't gonna work. Well, yeah. Put them on the devil.
Oh,
People
here.
don't see that.
Here.
If they can see that or not.
I think so.
Can't tell if the lights are up on there.
They'll be able to see it if it lights up.
Will they?
Yeah.
It's lighting up right now. Sort of.
Yeah.
There it goes. It's kind of going green. Yeah, there it goes. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. 1 second. We got other things I can put on there too. Oops, I'm running over stuff.
It went to yellow.
Is it?
A little bit.
Cross adventure stretch Armstrong. Yeah, it doesn't stretch though.
It's just a weird little
hard
arm
plastic
from a
red
toy.
arm. Yeah.
It is actually moving. Not the arm, but
The
the
K2.
lights. Yeah, the K2's lighting up.
Let me see if I can get a better grasp on that. 1 second here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I found it a couple weeks ago. I've been meaning to. I don't understand why that does that. Hang on 1 second here. Let me move that over.
That's crazy. I didn't even know you found that.
Yeah, nobody knew about it until I couldn't part with it though. I was like, I'm not going to throw it away. So let me do this real quick. I'm sorry, people at home. I'm trying to get it situated.
Okay, so given what we know, some of the stuff that was happening and going on, do you think this is from their handiwork?
Whose handiwork?
Some of the rituals that they were doing.
I don't know. You talking about when they were trying to translate the book of
Yeah, when they were doing like some.
It's kind of weird because it's like
Can't see
flashing
the arm.
more now than it
Oh
was.
yeah, you can. Okay, never mind.
You can kind of see the green.
Yeah.
I want it to be a closer because there's nothing electronic over there that would be triggering that. Now cell phones can trigger that, but there's no cell phone there. I'm not the hugest fan of K2s for that reason because they can be easily manipulated. Can I not just touch it? This thing's giving energy, that's for sure. For people at home can see that. Let me put that there. Well, it was.
You can set it on the side.
Side of what?
The K2. Yeah, it should.
It doesn't want to stay, for whatever reason.
I usually do it
Oh shoot.
like that.
Yeah, I guess that works. Oh, we need to put it back in frame though.
Oh, sorry.
Hang on one second, let's see where it's at. It might be okay there. It's giving a weird glare there. So there's oh, there it goes. This went to a yellow. Now that stepped away. Let me try a couple other things too. Put the REM pod next to it.
What are you bringing over here to my table?
Hey, you're on camera, dude. That's why. So there's that. And let's see what else we got. What else can we do here? What else can we stir up?
So yeah, so this is what Leo found on our very first trip together, even out to Tahlequah, and that was 2011,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
It was 21-degree weather.
Yep.
We were camping out there after investigating until I think 3 or so in the morning, and then we finally went back to our tents. We had a so-called very large creature that walked into our campground and was messing with our tents and then walked off. But there's a lot of weird stuff that the brothers, or at least one of the brother, was doing on the property.
Right.
And so, and like I said, there were no kids out there in this area or on that property.
Right.
He lived on his own on the property. Yeah.
I normally don't bring haunted objects home with me, but for some reason it compels me to do that.
Wow.
Let's see here. We're gonna do a spirit box session with it. See if we can get any kind of interaction with this.
And it's attached to a hair tie. That's just weird.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I didn't understand any of it. So I'm gonna put this right next to it. Hopefully that's in. Oh, I heard a voice there. People at home can hear that. Okay. We're going to sit here and ask some questions. Do a little bit of experimentation here with it. So, I'm trying to reach whoever's associated with that. It's like a little doll part, a random doll part from Tahlequah. Can you give us an answer that you're with that doll? Or whatever that was? Female voice.
There's acknowledgement right there.
Yeah. Hopefully people at home, you can hear that. If not, I can put a microphone on it. Can you give us a sign you're with us? They can hear it.
They can?
Yeah, how about that? What did I say? Did I say what I thought it said? I heard Leo.
It was like, Leo.
I heard it. That's what I thought it was.
That's awesome.
Are you talking to me? If so, say that again, please. Can you tell us where you're from? Where that object came from? That was nothing. Were you part of a ritual? Come on, I won't do this the whole night, rest of the night. I just want to see if you can talk to us now that we're here. Like I said, I'm here maybe. Can you tell me who's here? Come on, don't be shy. Got questions.
Why were you left out there?
I don't know what that was.
Said something, I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell what it either is real quick. I got a couple hits on the K2. I just saw it go up to a yellow.
Can you say the name of the person that dropped you and left you out there? K2 still going.
Do what?
K2 still going.
Yeah, I see it. There's the voice again.
What did it say?
I don't know.
It's really quick. I can't
It's a
tell.
female again, though. I did hear that. Are you okay being away from Tahlequah? Or do I need to take you back? I'll give it a few more minutes, and then if it doesn't, anything will turn it. Whoa, that was the voice. Did that say okay?
What's that?
Did it say okay? Or what did it
It
say?
sounded something like that.
Like a male voice? That was
It
different.
was a
voice.
male voice this time.
Deeper voice.
Before that was female.
Yeah. We will give us a few minutes, D. We'll answer that question here in just a second. Do you have anything you want to tell us before I turn off the SB7? Are we safe here with you?
Have you been waiting for Leo to find you again? There's a voice talking, but I can't make it out.
And people at home, if you hear anything, let us know.
It was like so low, it was under the static.
Uh-huh. Do you have any final words you want to say before I turn that off? It's just a radio. It's not going to harm you. That was weird. The camera just flinched in and out real fast. Yeah, was that you?
crazy thing is about that arm and the hair tie is how clean it is.
Yeah, it's not dirty. I found it out on the property. Oh, that was me. Said something there. That was a different voice that time. Well, we can't do this all night, so you better talk now if you want to say something.
You got something to say to Leo, you gotta say it now.
I'm just listening. I don't want to put my hand on my face like that, but I did. Whoa, what did I say? That was a different voice.
Yeah.
That was way different. I don't know if that was a different one.
Is Annabelle talking to us tonight?
Huh. Barb says when the K2 flickers, it sounds like the sweep speed slows down, but it's not changing in the studio. It's the same constant flicker.
So this is a doll's arm. This isn't from a little doll. You know,
There was no doll there.
Not your typical toy either.
Yeah, it doesn't make any kind of sense with that thing through it. I mean, I don't know, like you said, a hair tie looks like. I have no idea.
I mean, why would they be carrying around a little hair tie to attach it to this and just keep it around? Unless they have some kind of significant meaning to what they were trying to do out there.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming.
I mean, there was rituals performed out there.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any final words? Right on command, huh?
What's that?
It was right on command. I said, do you have any final words? And it talked.
Thought it said something about it's not.
Yeah. Or I guess not, maybe. I'm going to see if you have any final words. I
guess
guess not, or
like that, yeah.
So you don't have any final words for us? Something.
Just scream out your name, loud as you can.
It was right there.
Said something.
I heard it. It was real low.
Very deep.
It was a male again. You're Jason. Say your name one more time. Scream it out. A little louder.
Gotta do it good. Come on.
Okay. If you haven't talked to us, I'm going to turn the SB7 off.
Alright. See you later.
Closing this portal off. Speaking of.
Goodbye.
Let's see when we turn it off. We'll leave the K2 on it for the last of the show. I'm going to see if anything happens with the REM pod also, too. Like I said, I normally don't take things from haunted locations. That's just not who I am. I don't need to.
Did you see what Barbara said?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I'll have to go back and listen to that part of the video. Barbara. Interesting. And I'll definitely do more experiments with this and other things too, like this, in the upcoming shows, or even even after the fact. I'm always doing things down in the studio here, even when I'm by myself. Yeah, we definitely heard names. I just didn't hear what it said. It wasn't clear enough and loud enough to us. That's crazy. But, yeah, I don't know what compelled me to take this particular thing home. I think it was the uniqueness of it. It was random. It just appeared out of nowhere. I mean, we had been in this location for days at this point, I believe, and just like all of a sudden this thing was like gifted to us or gifted to me. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you home. But I forgot about it it's been locked up for years, almost 10 years at this point, and
Wow. Yeah.
heard a little voice right there, a whoop. But yeah, it's been locked up for almost 10 years, 9 years at this point. No, but we'll just call it 10, because we went there in March of that year, and I think it was about that time when I found it again. So that's crazy. It's been locked up forever. So would you put Rob Zombie by there for?
It's just for fun.
So yeah, I mean, so can objects like that hold energy? I mean, I brought it all the way from Tahlequah, Oklahoma to this location.
And it's just been resting in the same tent that you were actually kind of attacked in a little bit.
Right.
I mean, and it was right there from the land. I mean, the dirt on the tent.
Yeah.
Still from there that night.
Yeah, there's still dirt on it too from that night. So it's upstairs.
And you just packed it away and.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
And everyone can tell how much you love camping.
Yeah.
Since it hasn't been touched.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since I've been in that said tent. Yeah, I'm not a fan of camping at all, so it's not for me. But like I said, that night we had to use them because we slept outside on the haunted property and had interaction with things in and out the whole night. Possible Sasquatch, something big and black came through. A big shadow came through and pushed on the tents. Was throwing rocks at us, wood claps, you name it, or knocks, excuse me. It was happening that night, the big heavy footfalls. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see what happens now that I've actually released this again and see if we can get any kind of interaction over the next whatever. Glamping.
That would be Leo.
And that'd be an ELP for glamping. Oh, yeah, Barbara. She asked us, could there be other energy in my studio or our studio here? Yeah, there is. We hear voices all the time. Like Jason was saying, all of our paranormal equipment we've used over the years is sitting less than probably 5 feet from me in a closet right next to me right here. I can see all of it. And there's some of it right here next to me within arm's reach. But yeah, so if we've set this equipment down in haunted locations and, you know, we've had spirits interact through it, possibly. I mean, we have spirits interact through the SB7s, through the REM pods, through the K2s, to whatever our millimeters, you name it, or whatever else we have used. It's possible. I mean, you know, it's attached to it. Like I said, the dirt, the dust, whatever, the grime, whatever from those locations, it's possible we brought it back.
Help.
Yeah.
Keep the energy going.
Could be. I mean, could be. It's fine dust particles, you know. There's things in there. There's elements of, you know, metallic things and dust and dirt, so it's quite possible. The guys and the girls that are on the show too, we've been sitting here and we've noticed things walking. There's some pictures on the walls over here to my left. On my left, Jason's right, and we've seen shadows walk back and forth in that reflection of between us.
Oh yeah. I sat here one time and I saw a figure walk. You know, I saw the reflection of someone inside the room walking, but we're all sitting, but they're walking in the room.
You can see the legs walking.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of higher up compared to the pictures. The pictures are low down, or a little tap right there. But yeah, every now and then you can hear voices come through our mics too that are, I mean, because they pick up everything practically. So, yeah, there's other spirits here possibly. I mean, I've done experiments down here by myself and caught voices down here too. So, what, the broke pool? Carl, I'd rather have a working pool. So, yeah, I don't know. Objects definitely, I think, can be haunted or be, you know, hold energy, and they can
definitely
be transported location to location. Is it advisable? I mean, probably not, unless it's, you know, innocent. Like I said, if you bring in something that you was antique from not even thinking about it, you know, it's possible you brought another spirit with you. So, or, you know, like I said, the spirit of your grandparents or whoever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's craziness, but that's why we do what we do. I mean, as far as the paranormal and stuff, we try to figure out what the root of the haunting is. Sometimes like I said, it's our own doings, possibly, but who knows?
Yeah.
But so, do you think once again objects can hold energy, the spirit of
100%.
others? Okay,
100%.
I would agree with that too. And I mean, we've seen some evidence, or not evidence, some examples tonight, like the dolls, to the Ouija boards, to the
Well,
car, just name a
having
few.
experienced it, ourselves a little
Right.
bit. So
Well, I mean, a building itself, it's an object.
Yeah.
It can hold, if it's a haunting going on.
connected to the ground, it's.
I mean, it's
holding that energy,
Yeah.
especially
definitely.
with whoever's been in there, or if it's been there for 50, 100 years, who knows?
Yeah. And it could be good and bad. I mean, we've been, like you said, on locations where murders have happened, and you can hear, we've caught on recorders the possible murder even happening. You hear that, the case you're talking about earlier, you could hear something, a woman screaming no, or...
And a huge commotion happening
yeah.
from the kitchen area when we're nowhere near the kitchen. We just had a recorder in there.
Yeah.
And you could even hear the slam of the knife hitting the counter. You know,
and that's what the murder started and finished off
pretty
in the
much
basement.
happened.
Or he drug her in the basement and tried pouring lye on her.
It was
it
bleach.
lye? Bleach on her. Okay.
Because he saw it in the movie.
Yeah. All over a drug deal gone bad. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a murder. We did, but on recorders we caught all of it. I mean, we caught the sound. I wasn't a part of the team yet, but we caught the sound. We caught the banging, like being drug on the stairs, possibly down the basement, whatever, and to whatever. So I mean, not to make light of a unfortunate situation, but I mean, we were able to possibly document this reoccurring. So yeah, vehicles. Yep. Well, we talked about the Bonnie and Clyde car also too. I mean, that was a vehicle. Yep. Carl was talking about we left out vehicles, but yeah, we don't know if that one's haunted. I mean, there's other objects. I mean, the actual murder. Well, I say murder. The Charles Manson vehicle they used that night to transport, to go back and forth from the ranch they were staying at, the Spawn movie ranch out in California, to where Sharon Tate and them were murdered, and the next night where the La Biancas were murdered.
Right.
That vehicle's out there too. It's in the museum also too. Who knows what that thing has energy held to it, since murders occurred and they had blood on them in this vehicle, back and forth, So, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious about. I'd like to see more haunted objects, and like you said, do testings on the paintings, the Charles Manson paintings, to other things, to mirrors. We've looked at some mirrors that possibly were haunted or had interaction. What's crazy is now that K2 is completely not moving at all. Now that we quit paying attention to it. Huh. Okay, this is your final chance. Can you light up those low lights on that machine in front of you? It's called the K2 by the arm. It's blinking, Jason. Right on command.
As soon as you did it?
Yeah, as soon as I said that, there, look.
There it is.
You see it? Anybody watching that? I make note of it.
As soon as you say goodbye.
I make note of it that it wasn't doing anything, and it's doing it. Give us one last hurrah. Light up those lights. Come on.
You want me to leave?
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. There it is, yep. Whoa, did you hear that voice?
No, what was it?
That sounded like an animal, like a real... That was weird. I don't know what that was. All right, people. Well, what a weird way to end. But yes, that thing on command lit up the K2, and like I said, I'm not a fan of the K2. I think it's just a novelty thing. It's used. It can be easily manipulated. I mean,
right.
With the cell phone, and yeah. But I asked it to do it on command, and it did it. So who knows? But that's all we have for tonight's show for the haunted objects. We'll be back next week, hopefully, if everything goes accordingly.
Yeah.
Goes correct. We want to apologize once again for not being able to go the last couple of weeks because of the holiday. Plus, we were going to go live that one Tuesday, I think it was, and unfortunately, Jason got stuck at work. I got stuck at work. Yeah, we were talking to each other, and I was like, I haven't even left yet. He goes, I haven't either, so we apologize.
Yeah, I was way out of touch, and I wasn't going to be able to make it to Derby anytime soon.
So, but we'll do more things. Thanks for the comments. It's a great show tonight and things like that. We always appreciate it. We do it for you guys, also the viewers. We love telling our stories, our experiences. We love doing impromptu investigations like this. You never know what's going to happen on the Cryptic Heartland podcast, but we do it for you guys. We do it for ourselves also,
Can't
too.
wait to see what happens on the 150th.
Yep, which is coming up quick. It's only now after this episode, only be 8 more episodes.
Yeah.
We'll have to find something fun to do for you guys.
Absolutely.
But we want to say thank you guys all for tuning in this evening. This has been episode 141 of the Cryptic Heartland podcast, Haunted Objects Plus More. And for tonight's show, I'm Leo, and that's Jason.
Jason.
We'll see you guys next week, guys. Thank you.